Hey guys, Turkey's Clocks here. Today is Thursday again. It's November 4th. And today we're going to be diving into Week 9 NFL predictions. So we're going to be talking about Week 8 and how that turned out. As well. So here we go. Tonight we have the New York Jets taking on the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to have to say the Colts, even though they lost to Tennessee last week. And unfortunately, Derrick Henry may be out for the season, so they signed Adrian Peterson, veteran running back. But fortunately for them, they don't have to deal with the Titans right now. They have to deal with the New York Jets, who just came off with a win against Cincinnati at home. So I'm going to have to say the Colts. I know they look pretty sloppy, but they kept the game against Tennessee very close and put it into overtime. So I think they could probably win against the Jets here. It'll probably be a good game. I mean the Jets are the Jets, and the Colts are 3-5, but they're an undeserving 3-5. I think they could have done better in the regular season here. So, anyways, I'm picking the Colts. The Las Vegas Raiders just came off a bye, and I feel like there should be a Days of Our Raiders series because every single week there's bits and bits of drama that happens with the Raiders organization. John Gruden's emails and shit. The thing with Henry Ruggs, he killed a woman while drunk at the wheel, so that's interesting. They played the New York Giants, who just lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, even though they look very, very sloppy, and the Chiefs do not look good this year. I'm sorry. As a Chiefs fan, I think that win was kind of undeserved. We should be 3-5. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to go with the Raiders. I'm not picking the Giants because they also looked like sloppy pieces of garbage. Anyway, Raiders coming off a bye. I know there was a bit of drama with Henry Ruggs, and the Raiders dealt with it by cutting him. He's a free agent, and I think he won't be playing football for a very long time. I think he's going to be in jail. Anyways, I'm picking the Raiders. The Giants lost to the Chiefs in a very mediocre way, and I think the Raiders coming off a bye, I think they can go, and I think they can pull out with a win here. Going 6-2. And the Giants will be three, I believe it, 2-7. So of course the Giants will have the curse of a 7-loss season. Again. Anyway, I'm picking the Raiders. The Atlanta Falcons take on the New Orleans Saints. They have back-to-back division rivals. The Saints just beat the Buccaneers after Tom Brady kind of, imploded at the very end of the game with that pick six. And the Falcons, I think they just lost to the Panthers. So if they can lose to the Panthers, they can lose to the Saints. And Jameis Winston, he's out for the season with a torn ACL and a torn MCL as well. So they'll probably start Trevor Siemian for this week. But I think he can probably pull out with a win against the Falcons. So, yeah, I'm picking the Saints. The Buffalo Bills take on the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I think it's going to be the Bills for sure. The Jaguars do not look good. Even under Urban Meyer, I think he was better off coaching in college. I don't think it's Urban's fault, though. I mean, he did have that little incident with the bar, the thing at the bar. But that's pretty much it with Jaguars drama. But I think the Jaguars are going to lose here. They're going to go 1-7 here, and the Bills will be 6-2. More and more teams are going on bye weeks, so that's why it's not the number of weeks as the number of games. So 4 teams are on byes this week. I'll get to that at the end here. The Cleveland Browns, who just came off a loss against the Pittsburgh Steelers, take on the Cincinnati Bengals, who also came off a loss against the New York Jets. I believe, even though that Cincy will be at home, I think the Browns will pull out with a win. They'll bounce back, come out of 500, and hopefully they can make the playoffs this year, because they did last year. Otherwise, the factory of sadness is going to come back. So if they can lose to the Bengals, then yeah, it's over for them. Anyways, I think the Browns will be 5-4, and the Bengals will be also 5-4. Since they were 5-2 after beating the Ravens, and then now they're 5-3. So they'll also be 5-4. The New England Patriots take on the Carolina Panthers, and I think the Patriots will pull out with a win here. I mean, the Panthers, they still kind of look sloppy, even though they beat the Falcons. So I think they'll lose to the Patriots. I think the Patriots just lost. They just had a big win against the Chargers. They reverted back to their old ways. They just went from one of the greatest teams in the AFC to one of the sloppiest teams in the AFC. Not the Patriots, the Chargers. And now they are 4-3, right? I don't know. But the Patriots are 500, and I think they can probably win against Carolina. Carolina's been looking pretty sloppy too, so even though they won, they're 4-4. I think they'll be 4-5, and the Patriots will be 5-4. The Denver Broncos take on the Dallas Cowboys. I'm gonna say the Cowboys because the Broncos, even though they won against the Washington football team, both teams actually looked very sloppy. And the Broncos, they did look good for a few weeks until they completely imploded on their own ass. So I'm going to say the Cowboys. They just beat the Vikings, so now they're 6-1, and I think they can probably make the playoffs this year if they can go to 7-1. That would be amazing. And at least we don't have to deal with the Detroit Lions this week. So, yeah. They'll probably lose even if they're on a bye. So, yeah, anyways, I'm going to pick the Cowboys. The Minnesota Vikings take on the Baltimore Ravens, and I think this will be a Ravens victory. coming off a bye. I think that the Ravens will pull out with a win against Minnesota. Minnesota looks very, very sloppy. I think they will fall to 3-5, and the Ravens will be 6-2. But I think the Ravens will be in the playoff hunt too. So yeah, I think the Ravens will pull out with a win here with a record of 6-2, and the Vikings will be 5 and. No wait, they'll be what's their record? 3-4. No, so they'll be 3-5. They'd be 3-5. So yeah. Here's a Tank Bowl. Hopefully this will be one of the greatest games of this week. The Houston Texans take on the Miami Dolphins. One of these teams has to win. Excuse me. Both of these teams are currently 1-7, and I'm gonna go with Miami just to snap that losing streak in the Texans to keep their streak alive, going 1-8, and I think the Dolphins will be 2-7 by the end of this week. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. So I'm gonna pick the Dolphins. The Los Angeles Chargers take on the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to be picking the Chargers, even though they just lost to New England. I think that the Eagles aren't a really good football team, even though I think they just won. They just completely obliterated Detroit, even though it's Detroit. That's why they won. So let's see how the Eagles can do with a better team like the Chargers. So let's just hope they don't implode this time. So the Chargers are gonna go with a win here. They will be 5-3, and the Eagles will fall down to 3-6. Here's the game of the week, everybody. The Green Bay Packers take on my Kansas City Chiefs. And yes, I did hear that Aaron Rodgers tested positive for COVID-19. And yes, I know we play sloppy football, but I think we can pull out with a win here against Green Bay. It's in Arrowhead Stadium. I think with Aaron Rodgers out, I think they're going to start Jordan Love, and I think they're working out Blake Bortles, and I don't think that's a good option either. Kurt Benkert is also out, so the only quarterback they have right now is Jordan Love, and I think he'll be starting this week against the Chiefs. So yeah. Hopefully Mahomes can sling the ball a few times like he has in the past. I think he can do better. I mean, our offensive line has kind of regressed. I mean, we did have two of our best blockers when we cut them. Like two of our best offensive linemen, Mitchell Schwartz and Eric Fisher. I wish they were still on the team. I wish Eric Fisher luck with the Colts. I mean, he's not doing a good job. He's not doing I mean, he was always a right tackle. So I think the Chiefs will pull out with a win here. The Arizona Cardinals take on the San Francisco 49ers, who have just looked very sloppy, and I know they just won against the Bears, but I think they'll lose to the Cardinals, even though they just snapped their win streak against the Green Bay Packers. So they don't have to deal with the Packers anymore. They can coast here, going 8-1 here, and the 49ers will be they're 3-5. They're 3-4, right? They just beat the Bears, so they're 3-4. So I think they will be 3-5. for that time being. So, yeah, the 49ers will lose this game. Sunday night, we have the Tennessee Titans taking on the Los Angeles Rams. It was a rematch of Super Bowl 34, I believe, in which the Titans were infamously 1 yard short. So, yeah, I'm picking the Rams. It's going to be a good game, even though the Titans don't have Derrick Henry anymore. I think that Rams D will run all over Adrian Peterson, and I think the Rams are going to have a really good game, and it's at SoFi Stadium, so I think they'll pull out with a win here. So the Rams will be 8-1, and the Titans will fall to 6-3. After we go to the Monday night game, we'll discuss bye weeks and who's on bye this week. The Chicago Bears take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to say the Steelers. They just came out with a win against Cleveland. And the Bears, I don't think that they're a good football team. Unless is Matt Nagy going to be coaching? I'm not even sure. If he isn't, then that's great because they need a new head coach that doesn't have his head up his ass. And I mean, I'm being serious. Like, Matt Nagy needs to go. And as for the Steelers, I think they'll probably pull out with a win here. So yeah, I'm picking the Steelers for this one. Anyways, the teams that are on the bye this week are the Detroit Lions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Cincinnati Bengals. No, wait, Seattle. The Seattle Seahawks. Cincy's in week 10, I believe. It's Seattle. So it's Detroit, Tampa Bay, Seattle, and Washington that are on byes this week. So they don't have to deal with the hell of week 9. So, yeah. So 4 teams are on bye. So that means that there will be 14 matchups this week. So, anyways, we'll see you guys next week for week 10. And we'll see you guys on Saturday when we do the Daylight Savings Chime-a-thon. That will be this weekend. See you guys then.